If you were to ask me 10 years ago how I could be making money with sports cards in 2026, I would probably be able to come up with maybe one or two options. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 streams of income I had as a sports card investor in 2025. And if you're new here, my name is Eric Michael. I've been buying and selling sports cards for the past 11 years now, which is crazy to say out loud. And on this channel, I like sharing my pickups, grading submissions, my sales, but I also enjoy breaking down the business side of sports cards and how this whole world actually works. And really quick, before we get into the video, there's a free PDF down below in the description that'll break down all 5 streams of income in detail. Let's get into it. All right, income stream number 1 is just flipping cheap cards. So you could go to card shows where this is really good and just buying cards at a discount. It doesn't matter if it's an autographed card of me or it's an autographed card of Ben Johns, who's a pickleball player, or LeBron James. To give you a good example of this, a few weeks ago, I was at West Coast Card Show and I bought a black gold prism of Andrew Nemhard out of 5 PSA 10. He is not someone I'm looking to buy, not on my radar, but the last sale, one just did $3,700. And the kid gave it to me for $2,400. Just a cheap card. I'll flip it, make 20, 30%. Number 2 is grading cards. This is probably what I talk about most on this channel. Grading cards is the fastest, most lucrative thing you could do in sports cards. And honestly, there's very few things you could do that will double or triple the value of an asset in a few weeks to a few months. To give you a good example of this, a 2024 Select Blue Jaden Daniels Disco, while I'm speaking right now, is about $225 raw. And a PSA 10 is just over $800, and about 35% of these cards gem, right? So you're tripling to quadrupling your money 35% of the time if you really don't know what you're doing, which is a pretty good game to play. There's also other ways to make money with grading cards, like buying cards while they're cheap, sending them in to get graded, them being worth more by the time you get them back, as well as getting a PSA 10. Number 3, and personally, what I probably do the most is buying modern cards already graded. So the way sports cards works is it goes in seasons. In August and September, football's really hot. When the season ends, it goes low. Baseball's the same thing. In the off season of baseball, October, November, December, it's low. January, February, March, it picks back up. Same thing with basketball. It starts to pick back up in July and August before the season, and then in April, May, June, it goes down. So you could buy modern cards that are very cheap and just sit on them and make 20, 30, 40, 50%. A good example of this is Michael Penix Silver Prism PSA 10s. I was buying Michael Penix about a month and a half ago, and he's starting to go up in the offseason. His Silver Prism PSA 10 about a month and a half ago while I'm speaking was about $140 to $150. It's already up to almost $200. Part of the reason, because Kirk Cousins got released, Kevin Stefanski went to the Falcons, people are getting excited, excitement creates demand, which means his prices go up. Number 4 is buying vintage cards from the 80s or 90s and just flipping them quickly and buying them while they're cheap. So a good example of this is a 1998 Vince Carter Topps Chrome PSA 10. A card like this will go up and down, up and down. It'll sway by 30 to 40% for really no reason. It's just how vintage cards works. While I'm speaking, the last sale of this card at $285, and the average of this sale of this card in the past 12 months was about $370, and there was a high sale of almost $600. So this card is low right now. You can get it for $270, $280, and the graph goes like this, and eventually it probably will pop back up eventually, and you can just sit on it, make 20, 30%. If you know how to buy these cards while they're cheap at the low and just sell them when they pop back up, it's very basic, but this does require a little bit more money because a lot of these cards are $100, $200, $300, and you need to buy a lot of them for you to make considerable amounts of money. And number 5, buying high-end, really good vintage stuff and just holding it. I would not do this unless you have at least $100,000 in cash to spend on cards. And this last strategy is just when you have so much cash, it's like, well, I'd rather it be in a Babe Ruth card than it sitting in my bank account. And that's exactly the types of cards. So Cy Young T206, Ty Cobb T206, 1933 Gowdy Roots, 1952 Mantles. I just try to buy these cards at comps or 90% of comps if I could, and just sit on them. I think I bought my first high-end vintage card to hold in about 2020, I'd say. It was a 1933 Gowdy Babe Ruth, and I've been buying them since. And my collection of Gowdy Babe Ruths, which is what I hold the most of, quadrupled about, which the S&P 500 won't match that, and very few stocks will match that as well, and real estate. And these cards are very easy to find. And this stuff is great to get at card shows instead of going to Golden Auctions or going to these auction sites, because you can get them at like slight discounts and you're already 10% or 15% in the green by the time you buy them. And then also eBay is a gold mine for buying high-end vintage cars as well. People don't really go there to buy high-end vintage, so a lot of them end at very, very fair prices, as opposed to golden auctions. People with money go there and bid high. So just a little piece of advice. But that's the 5 different streams of income with sports cards. Flipping just anything that's cheap, grading cards, buying modern cards already graded, flipping vintage from the 80s and 90s while they're low and just selling them while they're high, and then buying vintage high-end cards to hold. Those are the 5 streams of income that I use. There's a free PDF down below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.